Hello, guys. Thank you for joining us this morning. Well, it's morning where I'm at for our webinar on the upcoming IWDC. We are going to allow for some of the participants to start filling in a bit more, and we should get started in a moment or two. All right, it looks like we're slowing down on that entering. Hello, my name is Rachel Goldhammer. I'm a consultant working with the International Working Dog Association. Thank you all again for joining us today for this webinar on the upcoming International Working Dog Conference held at Warwick University in the United Kingdom. This will be June 27th through the 29th. But before we get started, just some housekeeping. We do have a Q&A box available. You can locate that kind of at the bottom of your screen. So if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to type in there and we will either answer it at that moment if it kind of makes sense, or it will be held to the end and I promise it will get answered. Additionally, this webinar is being recorded, so we will be reading all the questions out loud and answering them out loud, even if we type in an answer at the moment, just so that can get captured and people who will watch this later on for information they might have had the same question as you. Before we get started on that upcoming event, IWDA has some other events going on. We do have another webinar scheduled February 6th. This will be free to IWDR users. So that is the International Working Dog Registry. IWDA members, as always, get in free. And this will be a live demonstration of IWDR's test mating functionality presented by the International Breeding Cooperative's Dana Hunter. She's shown me a preview and it is really exciting to see kind of in real time how to use IWDR for your test mating, how to use that functionality, and hopefully answer a lot of questions we've been recently been getting on that. And then, of course, the conference that is coming up. So without further ado, we are going to get started. Joining us today is Matthew Bottomley and Dave Stanton. Both Matthew and Dave have had a long working history with guide dog organizations and currently have been tasked to help us plan the International Working Dog Conference. Without these two, we definitely would not be able to present the lovely venue that's coming up. Some of the speakers, they've been working very hard behind the scenes to get all of this together. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Matthew and Dave.
Thank you, Rachel. I hope everyone can hear me okay. I'm Matthew Bottomley, and as Rachel said, this is Dave Stanton. Thank you so much for joining the webinar from wherever you are in the world. It's currently 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK, a very wet and soggy UK, I have to say. So Rachel's already introduced herself and us. I just wanted to also mention and recognise Danny Prebenson, who's not with us on this webinar at the moment, but she's been working very hard behind the scenes as well to help us plan the conference, and also to pay tribute to the LOC members. That's the local organising committee. Too many to name right here, but if any are on the call, thank you to you as well for your contribution, for your contacts, and for your hard work. And finally, I also wanted to recognise the International Working Dog Association board members. They've been hugely supportive in helping us organise this conference, and without their knowledge and sage wisdom, we wouldn't be where we are at this moment. There's still lots of work to do, but we're really pleased with where we're at the moment. So I'm hoping the technology works. That's why Dave and I are sat next to each other, because we were worried about being in different locations, not being the best with technology, and knowing how technology can let you down. At least we're both on camera, so we can work our ways through. I thought it would be sensible just to start a little bit with, for those that don't know anything about the International Working Dog Association, who are hosting both the Breeders' Workshop and the International Working Dog Conference. It is a not-for-profit organisation. Its aims, as it says on the slide, is to promote education, knowledge sharing, networking and collaborative opportunities, and it does that in many ways, including, of course, these conferences. It also provides, many of you probably work with or have heard of, the International Working Dog Registry. And that's a tool that many organisations and private breeders alike can use to help them manage their breeding programs and their colonies, enabling them potentially to develop estimated breeding values as well for their breeding dogs. Lots more information on the International Working Dog Association and the International Working Dog Registry on the website. So please do take a look. The International Working Dog Conference actually began back in 1999, and it happens every 2 years. And as I say, we're really proud to be involved in organising the conference this year. But just to finish on the IWDA, if you are interested in memberships start from around $150. There are corporate memberships, which obviously cost a little bit more. All that information again on the IWDA website. Lots of benefits to being a member of the IWDA. There's a huge knowledge base of health, training and breeding. There are 3 digital academic journals worth well over $900 a year. I think those journals are the Journal of Veterinary Behaviour, Advances in Small Animal Care, and Veterinary Clinics of North America. Access, of course, to conference and webinar recordings, and we have a whole library of those for people to access if you are a member. And of course, industry networking opportunities, and you can't undervalue the importance and value of those networking opportunities. So this webinar itself, we really wanted to concentrate on, firstly, the theme of the International Working Dog Conference 25, some of the speakers that we've been privileged and proud to secure to date, the venue itself, which we hope that you will be as thrilled as we are in terms of its location and the facilities it provides, the local area. We'll describe a little bit more about the towns around the venue. The Breeders' Workshop, which Rachel will talk a bit more about later on in the webinar, and a little bit of an overview, familiarization, if you like, about the website. So how you can submit an abstract, and we're still actively keen for people to submit abstracts if you're interested in doing so, how you can purchase tickets, and a little bit more about where you can find all the information on the website. So Rachel will cover that a little bit later. And of course, some time for Q&As if people have any. So why Lab to Leash? We decided we needed a theme. Every conference has a theme, and our board were very keen, obviously, to major on all the latest canine research, which is really important. Any new knowledge and best practice and experiences that are out there in the working dog field. But they were also very, very keen that we made sure that we were aware of the practitioners that are working with their dogs and how we practically implement some of that knowledge, some of that research in the field. So I think we're quite proud and pleased with the Lab to Leash. It says what it is on the tin. Took us a while to think of it, but hopefully it literally does say what it is on the tin and hopefully makes sense. I'm going to hand over to Dave now just to talk a little bit about the speakers that we've been liaising with. We're still working on that at the moment as we speak, and there'll be more added, I'm sure, in the future as well. But I'll hand over to Dave to talk about where we are right now.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, so in terms of speakers, we're really excited and looking forward to having some really high-class, world-renowned speakers coming to the conference. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the ones that are already confirmed, and then there will also be a number of others who we're still in negotiations with, and we'll be able to clarify and update that list of speakers at our next webinar, which we'll be holding in March. So some of the examples, so we have Dr. Karen Overall, who many of you I'm sure will know, Professor of Behavioral Medicine at Atlantic Veterinary College. She's also the chair of the International Working Dog Association. The title of Karen's presentation is identifying when early puppy behaviors deviate from normal and implications for development of behavioral pathology. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that at this moment, because that will come with the program information a little bit later. Also there on the screen, you see Dr. Claire Guest, OBE, who is the co-founder and CEO of Medical Detection Dogs here in the UK. And title of Claire's presentation is Decoding Canine Disease Detection. Moving on to Simon Gadbois. Simon is based in Canada. He is the University Teaching Fellow in the Department of Psychology and Neuroscience. I'm not going to read all the information about his bio there. You can read that for yourselves, but also all of these speakers' bios feature on our webpage, which I think Rachel's going to talk about in a little bit more detail. But what they've been very helpful with us is providing us with some very brief videos just to introduce themselves and give you a quick snapshot of what they'll be talking about. So this is Simon.
The technology works.
Hello, my name is Simon Gadbois.
Oh, I'm sorry, what happened there? Apologies.
It was going so well.
It was. We're back.
There you go. At least it proves we're live.
Yeah.
Just hit OK,
My name is Simon
Matthew.
Gadbois. I will be presenting
find it.
about how scientists actually think about assessing accuracy, but also precision when we talk about olfaction in dogs. My two areas of research, my two research programs are wildlife conservation canines, where we train dogs to look for endangered species, and biomedical detection. We started with diabetes, type 2 diabetes in children, but now we are very much focusing on the volatiles that may be expressed by people with PTSD when they have anxiety attacks or panic attacks. There are some interesting issues in those two fields that are actually different from actual biomedical detection. And I will also be talking about some interesting differences between scientists actually in the way they actually even conceptualize how to do searches in the field when you do wildlife conservation canine work. And this actually applies also to trailing and tracking in all kinds of different conditions. Looking forward to meet all of you in the UK this coming summer.
Thanks, Matt. Okay, so the next speaker that we have confirmed is Kat Yankster. I always pronounce her surname incorrectly, so Kat, if you are on this webinar, apologies for that. Kat's presentation is titled Lessons Learned from Training Dogs to Detect Plants, and more specifically, Japanese knotweed and a very specific type of fungi.
I would like to invite you to my talk at the conference this year. I will be speaking about plant detection and fungi detection. So the first part of the talk will be mainly about Japanese knotweed and the difficulties that come with training dogs to find plants, invasive plants in this case. And the second part will be actually about fungi detection and how potentially training dogs to detect a specific fungi can help with protection of biodiversity. I cannot disclose which fungi it is yet, but I will be able to do that in June, which I'm really excited about. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you about that because it's a really interesting project that has its challenges. And we had really interesting and exciting results already, but we are in a phase now where we're looking at kind of what the dog can do in a more operational environment and how far we can go with it. So yeah, so all really, really exciting. And I will have results of those tests and everything we're going to be doing in June. So I'll be able to share that with you.
Okay, so the next speaker we have is Paul Bunker. Paul is the principal and founder of Chiron Canine. Paul's presentation is entitled The Detection of Oil Under Ice and Water, by oil detection canines.
Hi, you're joining me today at the IISD Experimental Lakes area, which is located in Ontario, Canada. We're currently undertaking phase 2 of a 2-part research project. Phase 1 was about 4 months ago when we came here to this same lake and conducted off-boat search using my canine to look for submerged oil. Phase 2 is now, which is detecting oil under ice. I'm honored and excited to join you this June at the International Working Dog Association Conference in the UK and to discuss and present all about these 2 phases of this project. I'm Paul Bunker and I'm the founder and principal of Chiron Canine.
Very happy looking dog there.
Mhm.
Okay, next we have Joshua Arujo. Joshua, having been a Marine Corps veteran, transitioned from the military into doing a lot of work with the Department of Homeland Security, and now co-founded and runs Founder Paws and Footprints Training Academy. Joshua's presentation title is From Laboratory Insights to Operational Efficiency.
Hi everyone, my name is Joshua Rajo. I'm excited to bring to you a course that's going to bridge the gap between psychology, science, and canine detection within the working environment. When we talk about psychology, what we're going to do is talk about psychological theories that are going to better enhance your canine's performance by using clear communication. When we talk about the science, we're going to get the most recent information directly from the laboratory and dissect it and better discuss how it affects us as operational canine handlers. This course is going to be focused on explosives, narcotics, and human remains detection. I'm beyond excited to host this course for you guys. Take care and have an amazing day. Bye.
Okay, and the last speaker that we have with a video attached is Kenan Muftik, who works with the Norwegian People's Aid as their head of global training. Kenan's presentation is entitled Quality Management and Deployment of Mine Detection Dogs and the Norwegian People's Aid Approach.
Hi, I'm Kenan from Norwegian People's Aid, and I work at our Global Training Center for Detection Dogs. Next year at the conference in Warwick, I'll be speaking about our training approach, as well as the challenges and strategies involved in deploying mine detection dogs in diverse post-conflict environments. I look forward to seeing you all there. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
A little clue there as to when Kenan did his video for us just before Christmas. So we're grateful to all the speakers for sending in those videos. And as you can see from those, we've got a great cross-section of topics from these world-renowned speakers. So we're really excited and looking forward to having them. And there will be many more to follow. As I said earlier, we'll update you on the next webinar about that. I'm going to leave the bios that I mentioned earlier for Rachel to point out on the webpage when she gets to her part. Thanks for listening to my section, and I hope you enjoyed that little taste of what speakers we'll be having at the conference. The webinar in March, sorry, Matthew just pointed something out to me, thank you, that's why we always sit together. Yeah. Is going to provide more detail. The date for that webinar we haven't quite determined yet, so rest assured we'll get that out to you. And as I mentioned, we'll have a lot more information on additional speakers and a lot more meat on the bone in terms of the program detail. And obviously there'll be an opportunity for further questions and answers at that second webinar as well.
Great, thanks, Dave. So we've talked a bit about the speakers. We thought it would be good for everyone to understand exactly where we're hosting the conference. I guess you all know it's at Warwick University in the Midlands, in the middle of the country, in England. And we'll try and give you a bit of a flavour of the venue itself. The first screen that I'm showing here has a photo of the Slate building, which is an impressive building for us to host the conference in, and then some various pictures around that. showing some of the facilities that we have. Moving on, why Warwick University? Why did we choose it? Well, there were lots of factors, of course, and we explored many of those factors in terms of ease of travel, in terms of obviously the facilities and the venue itself and what it offers. And we'll go on to some of those in a minute. But key to it, or one of the keys for us, was sustainability. We thought it was really important that we pick a venue that has sustainability at their heart. In the world that we live in, we thought it was crucial that they had a proper strategy around sustainability. And on that basis, I'll just show you a quick video. We're not going to show it all because it's quite lengthy, but we just wanted you to realize that Warwick Conferences is very engaged with sustainability.
Sustainability, the way forward. Warwick Conferences is on a journey to become more sustainable and make a positive impact in the world. Our goal is to reduce any negative effect our business may have on the environment. We are aligned with the university's Way to Sustainable strategy. Energy. 100% of our electricity will be from renewable sources. We aim to reduce energy use by 5% a year across our conference centers for the next 5 years. Our heating systems will be net zero carbon by 2030. And we will proactively control and manage our utilities. Reduce waste. Recycling facilities are available in all of our venues. We reuse coffee grounds as compost across the campus and offer these to our guests for their own gardens. Our food waste is collected for anaerobic digestion. And 0 of our waste goes to landfill sites.
We thought we'd leave it there because there's more to the video that talks about their goals for sustainability, but it gives you a flavour of where they already are and how that was important in our decision making in terms of the venue. Added to that, we were in liaison with the International Guide Dog Federation and know that they've also arranged a conference at Warwick University. And we decided that the Breeders' Workshop and the International Working Dog Conference should be there as well. Around the sustainability issue, that means that people that might wish to attend all 3 conferences, or 2 of the 3, are reducing their impact, their carbon footprint, by only having to fly to 1 country and attend one venue. So we hope that you agree that that's part of an important part of the considerations for choosing the venue. It says at the end there, high quality and convenient. Hopefully you'll find it is that is the case. As those of you that come to the conference, and we'll just explain a little bit more about
sustainability, the way forward.
The video, unfortunately. No, we'll move on to the next slide, I hope, if I press the right button. There we are. So the venue itself, the slate I've already touched on. There's a picture there of the internal of the slate. And an external picture of it as well. But we also took, and we'll have to apologise, and you'll have to accept, these are a little bit homemade. Dave and I have visited the university and did some little homemade video, but we hope it gives you a flavour of the internals of the buildings as well. So I'll play this video for you now.
Now just walking into the main slate building where the conference will take place. As you can see, a lovely big space. Currently being set up for a conference tomorrow.
So that's the slate where the conference will be hosted.
Now just walking into...
I said technology wasn't my strong point, and so it's proving. Ratcliffe House and Scarman House are the 2 hotels. When we first considered the idea of having a conference at Warwick University, and we did look at some other universities actually as well. Traditionally, in my mind, and I think Dave's too, we thought of student dormitories and thought that really isn't the type of accommodation that we would want for our guests to the International Working Dog Conference. But as it transpires, the facilities at both Ratcliffe and Scarman House are really top class, proper hotels. And we were delighted as we looked around them and saw them. And again, we'll show you some more pictures now. So this is the Radcliffe Hotel. Again, a bit of a homemade video, so please bear with it.
The reception area in the Radcliffe. I'll just take you now through to the coffee area, where people can relax between lectures. And importantly, in the evening, you spy the bar in the distance. The reception area.
Apologies, it's played again. And the other hotel is called Scarman House. Again, a couple of pictures of the lounge areas and plenty of different places and areas where you can have discreet meetings if you wish to with work colleagues. And there's a little video again of the internal.
It's just the reception area, and now moving through to the main conference area. And indeed, first thing we're confronted with is the bar. Very nice, extensive bar, and I do believe Mr. Stanton is pretending to work there.
I couldn't resist saying that when I saw Dave there. Please don't read into anything that I've mentioned the bar twice, as I've given you an insight into the two hotels. Proximity to the venue. Do you know, when we've done conferences in the past, and when I've been to conferences, a lot of what I hear from people is that the worry sometimes of being a long way away from the venue, maybe having a shuttle bus that you need to get 20 minutes and be down 20 minutes earlier to get there. Well, we just wanted to, again, a bit of a homemade video, a Heath Robinson affair, but hopefully it will show you just how close the two hotels are to the main venue.
Just in the distance is the Radcliffe Hotel. As I scan round, you can see the main Slate building, which is where we will be hosting the International Working Dog Conference. And as I pan further round, and we look between the trees, you can see the Scarman Hotel. It's all very close to the main conference venue. Just in the distance is
Seems to be a pattern here that every time I repeat the video, so apologies, but moving on to the Ratcliffe and the Scarman in terms of their bedroom space, a couple of examples there, very comfortable bedroom space, very spacious. So I'm sure anyone that attends will be very comfortable indeed. And just some examples here of some of the outdoor spaces, the meals and amenities that are available. Lots of outdoor spaces for people to enjoy. Food looks excellent, I have to say. That wasn't a picture that I took of a chef. That would have been quite intimidating. It's a stock picture, but nonetheless, the food is excellent. And I guess top right-hand corner, there's a picture of the Warwick Arts Centre, which we thought would be really well worth highlighting. Warwick Arts Centre is a publicly available centre for the arts, as the name would suggest, and it has two, maybe three actually, cinema screens showing the latest movies, and it also has many and frequent visitors from the music field. So if people want evening entertainment, there will almost certainly be entertainment on at the Warwick Arts Centre, and that is on campus, so very within walking distance of the two hotels. Worth mentioning for those that are sporty amongst you and that might be attending, it's an outstanding, a state-of-the-art sports centre. It's fairly recently been relocated and very modern, a large 25-metre swimming pool with 12 lanes, squash courts, table tennis, massive climbing walls, which we'll show you pictures of in a minute, and a state-of-the-art gym and cycle studio. Now, all of these facilities are free to conference attendees. They're bookable through the sports centre reception or your hotel receptions, and indeed I believe there is an app that you can download to enable you to book facilities as well. So if you do have time outside of lectures and in the evenings or what have you, these facilities are available to you. And here's some pictures of those facilities, the reception in the Sports and Wellness Hub, the main sports hall where I think the people there are actually playing badminton, if that translates across the pool as well. The huge climbing walls that are available for people to try. If you're feeling very brave, you won't see me on it, that is for sure. Swimming pool and gym facilities. There's a little stand talking about booking made simple. That's the app that I was talking about. So I believe you can download an app and book facilities and sessions as you wish. More pictures of the climbing wall, some exterior, outdoor sort of playing areas, sports areas, and another picture of the gym and cycle studio, which was pretty impressive, I have to say. Now, those that aren't sporty particularly, but enjoy to get out and stretch their legs, there are walking routes around the large university campus and all its grounds. So I won't describe these in detail, but the slide shows some of those routes, and the next slide gives a bit more detail. We will be circulating this webinar more widely afterwards as it's been recorded, so people will have an opportunity to see these if they want to in more detail. And of course, this will all be available to any of the conference delegates that attend. So we'll make sure that those leaflets are available for you all. I'm going to hand over to Dave now just to talk a little bit about the surrounding area.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So another great benefit of having the Warwick University as the venue is the close proximity, in particular, of these four towns. Stratford upon Avon, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit more detail in a minute, Royal Leamington Spa, and Warwick and Kenilworth, and they're all, I would say, within probably 15 to 20-minute drive of the college, of the university campus. Kenilworth is probably the closest, and it's quite an interesting place to go and see, particularly those that like history, because there's the ruins of an old castle there. And as you can see from the picture there's a magnificent castle in Warwick, which is a huge attraction here in the UK. And I think it's something like £20 to enter Warwick Castle, and you can spend several hours there looking around. So that might be something of interest to you. So Stratford upon Avon itself, so we'll give you a little kind of virtual tour around that. And one of the reasons that we're going to focus on this a little bit more is that between our two conferences, so between the Breeders' Workshop, which is being held on the 23rd and 24th of June, and the conference that we're talking about now, which is being held on the 27th to 29th of June, there's a 2-day period where people can pretty much do what they want to, but we're hoping to put on a day trip. And within that day trip, we're hoping to include a visit to the Guide Dogs National Centre, which Matthew and I are very familiar with, having worked there for many years. And then following that, well, we'd like to take people on to Stratford upon Avon. For those of you that don't know much about Stratford upon Avon or the history, it's very famous and a huge tourist attraction here, and well known for being William Shakespeare's birthplace. One of the lines that I took, which describes it really well, is that Stratford's medieval centre is filled with timber-framed Tudor-style houses and buildings. And the picture you see in the middle there is a great example of that. And that is, in fact, William Shakespeare's birthplace. So that actual building is a restored 16th century house. And William Shakespeare was born there in 1564. And obviously you see the statue of great man himself there. Many areas in Stratford, and obviously we could take all day to talk about them all, but just as an example, the picture on the left there is an area called Bancroft Gardens, which is just adjacent to the Royal Shakespeare Company Theatre. Bancroft Gardens is an area where the town's locals used to graze their animals in the olden days. So that's just a little bit of information for you there. And then you see on the right, the beautiful River Avon, which runs through Stratford, and there's lots of activities to do on and around the river itself, including floating restaurants and bars. And for those of you that like a little bit of kind of knowledge in case your quizzes and things, the River Avon is the 19th largest river in the UK. spanning 83 miles, which was something that we learned fairly recently.
Yeah.
This is just another example. This is on the main high street in Stratford town, giving you an example of those Tudor style buildings which are in abundance there. Lots of things to do, lots of shopping if you're interested in that kind of thing, souvenir gathering, all manner of shops there. The picture in the top right, again, showing the Tudor style building, and that particular store is well known for being a store that sells nothing but Christmas related merchandise, and it stays open all year round. And that's how popular that one is. And the one below is just a little group of 3 different shops. There's cafeteria there. I forget the one in the middle, but it's like a gift shop in the middle. And the one on the right is actually a kebab house of all things. And we just thought it'd be interesting to put that picture on there to show you how the old blends in with the new. So they're all now incorporated into what were the old original Tudor buildings there.
Great, and I think it's at this point we will hand over to Rachel to talk through the Breeders' Workshop with some magic technological changes.
Hello, everyone. First off, I have to say I am so excited about the presenters and that venue. Great job, Matthew and Dave, on presenting that for us. I'm going to do a quick little update on the Breeders' Workshop, which Matthew and Dave had said is on June 23rd and 24th. It is before the International Working Dog Conference and right after the International Guide Dog Federation Conference. We are excited to have some world-renowned speakers. We have Professor Gary England, who is a reproductive veterinarian from the University of Nottingham, Dr. Tom Lewis from Guide Dogs UK breeding program, Dr. Christine Gonzalez, who is also a theronologist from Guide Dogs for the Blind, are just examples of some of our confirmed speakers. The program right now is shaping up, and as soon as we have everything confirmed and our I's and T's crossed, we will be sharing that in February. Right now, there will be presentations on breeder candidate selection and management, one which I'm personally excited about. Management of whelps with known small litter sizes and how to prevent C-sections with those. Low pass whole genome sequencing with targeted capture, which benefits the health of dogs while also enabling discovery regarding aspects of canine behavior, which is very exciting research coming out. Semen analysis and collection, we will be having some live demonstrations with Dr. Gary England, additional live demonstration of ultrasound scanning of a pregnant brood and things to look out for and how to better utilize your ultrasounds. And we will be hosting a behavior checklist workshop with Helen West as well, and much more still coming. We are very excited to be able to present this and hopefully expand networking opportunities, knowledge and education on the reproductive health of dogs. So next up is our overview of the conference website. We are using a new website host this year called 4 Waves. It is great in a lot of ways and is really helping us capture certain things. In other ways, it can seem a bit unyielding or like information is kind of hard to find. And the first thing is the website is set up and such, just be prepared to do a lot of scrolling. And when I do it pretty fast today, I will let you guys know, like, hey, close your eyes if you get nauseous, because we're going to be scrolling. When you come to the 4 Waves page, this is what the home page looks like. There are 2 ways to get your tickets. One is up here on the dark home bar, and the second one is an actual ticket hub. When you click either one of those, it will take you over to your purchaser information, which is pretty straightforward. Put your details in. If you're a member of any of the following organizations, and it goes over ticket costing. The important thing to note that this is in pounds and not in USD. Additionally, there is a code there. So if you are a group of 4 or more, there is a discount code for you. And if you are a student, if you contact us through questions, Dave Stanton at iwdr.org. It is right here on the ticketing page, so a pretty easy contact to find if needed. Once you select how many tickets you need and what you would like to do, I'm choosing the IWDC Breeders Combo Workshop. Over here is where the pay actually happens, this little square. And there is a coupon code there. And for anybody who ends up being a speaker at the conference, does have a group booking, is a student, or has any other discount code, make sure that code goes into this box and you've hit applied. And it states that the code is valid. If that doesn't happen, that code and discount won't be captured. So that is something that we've noticed has become a little bit of an issue. And so we just want to make sure that people know the code happens off to kind of the right-hand side, and make sure the apply button is pressed to make sure that code got applied. The next button we're going to go over is the abstract submission button. This is for the IWDC only, not for the Breeders' Workshop. Anything that has a little red star in it needs to be filled out. Again, if you run into any issues or concerns, we do have contact information. Again, it is Dave Stanton at iwdr.org over there. We are asking for the title, which authors. If there are more than 1 authors on it, you can add. There's a little person button, so you hit add, and that is how you can put multiple authors. Even if not all authors are showing up to the presentation, you can do that. File upload for any additional information you would like uploaded. If you are trying to do a poster, there is a poster upload. Speakers' bios and photos for the speakers can all be uploaded. Again, they can be clicked to upload, or you can just drag and drop your file in that little box. And then when you fill this out, please remember to fill out what time slot you would like. If you think it's a shorter presentation, there's a 20-minute. For longer, there's 40-minute, or if you're poster only. All of that needs to be added. And once that's done, hit submit. If you get any error messages, more than likely a little red asterisk field didn't get filled in appropriately. So try that again. If you run into issues or troubleshooting, reach out to Dave. So the site itself has all of the information that was just covered here about IWDC, IWDA, proposed speakers, some additional from what some of the ones we've already heard from today. And I'm going fast, so if you do get a little bit nauseous, please look away for a moment. After the IWDC portion, there is information on the Breeders' Workshop, again, proposed speakers, information. All the information we just saw about the venue is here with tours and links to the center itself. So if you're like me and you want to start exploring some of those other activities, you can click on this conference center link and it will take you right there, which is very exciting. So you can see what that venue looks like, what options, what does that food and dining truly look like, and all of that. And same with the Breeders' Workshop. And there is another link for things to do. That conference center and work link I just showed will also get you there. The local attractions that Dave just went over with you as well are there. The focus on sustainability, which was pretty important when taking a look at this. How the accommodations look, which we just saw, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But closer to midway is talks about the all-inclusive nature of the tickets. Everything we just heard about the accommodation, the food, all of that is included in the ticket price. This is not one of those conferences where you have to do a registration and then go find a hotel and pay for it, and then have to pay for your dinners, your breakfasts, because usually the only thing provided is lunch. With this conference, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are all paid for already through your registration, as well as your hotel accommodation. There is free car parking, so if you're renting a car or have a vehicle, that is included as well. So there's like no kind of hidden gotcha cost there. There are also accommodations at a discount for dates outside of the conference. So those days between the Breeders' Workshop and IWDC, you can book through the university, getting an additional discount code, and that would be addition because there are no actual conferences happening that night. But the booking does include breakfast. And if you, again, run into any issues, Dave, poor Dave, is going to get a lot of emails, I think, headed his way now. But we also have the information here at the bottom of the hotel itself, so you can call and insure. So if you're kind of like my plan, where I will be at IGDF, the Breeders' Workshop, and IWDC, I will make accommodations to, ensure I get to stay in the same room through all that hotel, and I don't have to wander around every couple of days with my suitcase. Again, it goes over the pricing right after that. Discounts. We are in our early bird era right now, so make sure to get tickets before that ends. And then right underneath all of that is our travel information. And this is something that some registries and guests have questioned. What airport do I fly into? How can I get there if I don't plan on renting a car? Those kinds of things. The Birmingham International Airport is very close. It's about 10 miles with about 25 minute driving time. And it does have some travel options available if you click this link on how to get from the airport to the university, including a coach. London Heathrow is close to 2 hours away, just at 150, an hour and 50 minutes away. And again, some good examples of travel options are located at that link. And then there are two other airports kind of in that area, one further out, which is London Gatwick International at 2 hours and about 30-minute drive to Warwick, and Manchester, which is about an hour and 40 minutes away from Warwick. So there are multiple kind of international airports in that area. The closest one is Birmingham, and we have links for travel accommodations on all of those. And lastly, at the very end, at the bottom of this webpage, are Q&As. So what is the exact location? More about travel and those kinds of accommodations, airports, shuttles, car parking. What are the true costs, which will take you to that all-inclusive breakdown that I showed earlier. So if you have a question, there's a good chance that that has been covered in this Q&A area down here. And you can check that out to see what's going on. The biggest issue is there's not like a nice direct jump link to get here on 4Waves. So you do have to do quite a bit of scrolling to get to this space. There's also a great video about the sports facility. So those pictures that we saw earlier, there is some additional information on that. Luggage storage, all about Wi-Fi, all of those Q&As can be found here at the website. Yeah, close your eyes. We're gonna do a quick scroll up at the top again. So again, this is the 4 Waves event page. You can buy tickets through here, abstract submission through here, and answer a lot of questions that you might have. There is a lot of scrolling involved, so if you don't find something initially, kind of keep going down the page. And as always, you can reach out to any of the contacts on that page to get answers to questions about hotel, venue, and or the event itself. Tickets can be purchased through either this button or at the top. An abstract submission has 2 different buttons on the page to also submit. So with that, let me get back to the PowerPoint. We are so excited to see you there, and here's just a fun little video to show kind of the fun
So there's
people
been
you're
a Star
working
Wars
with.
convention here at Warwick University, and Matthew's been.
Oh,
So there's been a.
I just realized you won't be able to hear it because I didn't share it appropriately. So give me one more second to share my screen appropriately, and then you'll get to see the funness.
So there's been a Star Wars convention here at Warwick University, and Matthew's been sitting in on some of that, and he's just going to give a quick demonstration of his use of the Force. Yes. Nice.
So we truly thank you for sitting with us this morning, or afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world right now. We really appreciate it, and we hope this answered some questions you might have about the upcoming event, and kind of gave you a good preview of the great quality of speakers that are coming up. We're now going to open it up to questions. If you do have a question, please fill out that Q&A, and we will answer it in the order which it was received. Q&A is open right now. You can find that kind of towards the bottom of your screens for the most part of you. And while we wait, Matthew and Dave, do you have anything you would like to add?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we've mentioned the fact that obviously we'll be having the second webinar in March, and we'll get the date out to everybody. Just as an extension to what you mentioned, Rachel, about the early bird ticket prices, our intention is to keep those running up until, what did we say, the end of March?
I think after that second webinar, yeah.
After that second webinar, yeah. So a little bit of time, but time goes by very quickly at the beginning of the year. So it's a significant saving for those that are definitely keen to come to the conference. So keep those dates in mind.
And it looks like we aren't getting any questions. So
Nope,
I think
maybe that's
you
a sign
guys
gave lots of good information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a sign that you guys did a really great job organizing that. Again, we thank you for your time. And this webinar will be posted on the IWDA page. So if you would like to refer to it or send it to any colleagues, that will be there and available